All right, so we're on this player now. We're going to test the 4 set, how much damage it does, and record everything just like we did before. I'm going to get in PvP combat. I'm going to push my Blade of Justice. I'm going to push my Judgment. I'm going to get rid of the Blessing of Dawn, and then I'm going to hit a Templar's Verdict, and we are going to see how much damage that did. What's up guys, Lvladen here, and today I'm coming at you with a video on the 10.2 PTR, and you heard that right, we are back on the PTR. So I've done significant testing with the Ret 4 set and 2 set against both players and dummies, and then alternatively with the full versatility mastery set here. As you can see, we don't have any set pieces with this set, it's just first mastery. And we have come to some interesting results. So I'm going to bring up, where is it here, this text document. And we're going to talk a little bit about the damaging effects, the spells, and certain PvP situations where maybe running the 4 set is okay. But we are going to look at the surprising result where down here in the grand total, it looks like the versatility mastery set does a little bit more damage. So let's get into the test. So my test was on a warrior who had about 22% damage mitigation from versatility, and I did not include any Sophic Devotion procs, any Dawn, Blessing of Dawn procs, or any Trinket procs in this test. So we have the 4 set here where my Blade of Justice hits him for 29.5k. The Expurgation with the 4 set, which increases the damage of Expurgation by a tiny bit, ticked out for 16.8k for a total of 46.3k. Now, funny enough, the full versatility mastery set hit harder. None of these ticks on Expurgation for either test were crits. So the Expurgation, you can see, is a little bit less. But the initial Blade of Justice, due to having more versatility and mastery, was more. And it edged it out by just about 200 damage. Let me add the K in there, 46.5k. So, as you can see, unless you are accounting for Expurgation being on multiple targets, pure single target, the versatility mastery wins the battle there. Now, we have the Judgment and Wrathful Sanction test for each set of gear. And with this test, if you include Wrathful Sanction, which is the Judgment proc on the Expurgation, into the Judgment damage, this actually deals more damage. However, the baseline, you can see that the Versatility Mastery base Judgment does hit harder due to having more of that damage-based stat. Now we have an interesting comparison right here. So now I'm going to talk about Final Verdict. That's what FV stands for here, Final Verdict. The 4 set Final Verdict was 44.8k, while the full Versatility Mastery Final Verdict was 49.2k. Now, that looks like, you know, okay, about what you would expect. And then you add in the Wrathful Sanction, which is the 4 set proc. It hits, or it is supposed to hit for 25% additional damage, but all the PvP set bonuses are typically nerfed by half, so it should hit for about 12.5%. It hits for exactly 12.5% with no modifiers right here for 5.6k, and we get a total of 50.4k right here. That is roughly what you would expect when, or this is exactly what you would expect out of these values. However, when you start, and we're going to jump ahead a little bit in this this chart right here, when you start accounting for procs such as badge, wings, I don't mean procs, I mean modifiers, such as badge, wings, and Blessing of Dawn, the secondary effect for Wrathful Sanction goes down. So it decreases from 12.5% to a random arbitrary lower number. I've had as low as 5% and about an average of 7% of the total Final Verdict damage here. Now I'm going to skip down here where I go over that test. So the additional test, This is what I tested out when going for the hardest hitting final verdict that I could, not accounting for Sophic Devotion and badge procs. So I did get 2 stacks of Dawn. I used Avenging Wrath Might. I used Final Reckoning. I used my On Use trinket, but I did not have a proc trinket and I did not have a Sophic Devotion. So here we have the final verdict crit for 190k and a Wrathful Sanction for about 10.2k. So we're looking at roughly 5% on this Wrathful Sanction right here. 5%. That is very low. That is very, very low. That is not 12%. We'd expect somewhere around like high 23k for this Wrathful Sanction if it followed the 12.5% formula. So we have a total of 202k from our max possible final verdict with the 4 set, not accounting for proc trinkets and Sophic Devotion. So over here we have the full mastery set, and we just banged out a 205.5k final verdict here. No proc needed, just flat out the winner. So despite up here looking at the values of 12.6k, I'm sorry, 12.5% on Wrathful Sanction, if this value translates or gets bug fixed or whatever, then the 4 set might start to win out. But because it won up here, I don't want to say that it's for sure the winner. As the top end damage goes for, you're mostly trying to kill with burst pressure, and right here the full versatility mastery deals a little bit more damage even without that secondary hit. So maybe your lower final verdicts, your unbuffed final verdicts, hit a tiny bit harder, and we're talking like 1200 damage harder, while your top end final verdicts are hitting for just over 5000 damage harder. So it's very, very close, but I think the full versatility mastery takes the cake here. So next, we'll look at Hammer Wrath total. So I did not take, what's the talent here? Vengeful Wrath. So no auto crit on the hammer. The 4 set had a 39.3k Hammer of Wrath non-crit. And the full versatility mastery set had 45.9k. So a clear winner right here, significantly more damage. Now the grand total, when you compare the damage single target, is very close. So total damage here, we had 166.8k versus 166.9k. So a tiny edge on the full versatility mastery set with the same globals used, all counting for the same factors with no procs. If you count in some damage modifiers, excluding the proc trinkets and Sophic Devotion, then Final Verdict wins on this category as well. So what does that tell me? I think in the grand scheme of things, the full versatility / mastery set is definitely better for single target. And I don't think the AoE portions, the AoE splash damage from Wrathful Sanction that we did not account for with this Judgment, and the potential that you get from spreading Expurgation with Blade of Vengeance are worth it at all. I know I didn't really talk about those, but we didn't factor in potentially spreading these. In addition to that, Blade of Vengeance is also nerfed in PvP combat, so those secondary effects deal far less damage than they are looking like they do on the tooltip. So that's another modifier that I did not see on the 10.2 notes. So a potential other bug, or maybe just weird, odd tuning. But yeah, we have that to take into account for. So what does that leave me with for a recommendation? Well, let's go over the screenshot I have right here. So this screenshot, we have 189.9k, so basically 190k final verdict with our 10.2k Wrathful Sanction 4-set bonus. I don't think it's worth it. And by the way, ignore this Wrathful Sanction at my number 8 DPS spot here. That should be halved, because on the PvP dummy in Lvladen, it takes into account the PvP nerfs or the PvP bug with the 4-set, but it does not in fact nerf the 2-set on the dummy. So both Expurgation and Wrathful Sanction are doing a little bit more damage than intended. Actually, Wrathful Sanction is literally doing double, because it does about 11k damage on players. I don't think that the 4-set is worth running with the bug. Now, right now, everyone's asking, hey, what should I do with my gear? What should I buy first? You could follow someone like Vanguard's who is just, you know, grabbing his 2 set as soon as possible. Or I think the smartest thing to do is on week 1, you hold everything. You keep your 1600 token, you hold on to your conquest, and you see what you get in the vault, and you keep your trophies of strife. I think that's the best bet for everyone. What I'm going to do personally now, until we get confirmation on a bug fix, I'm going to hold my conquest for my weapon, and I'm just going to buy my weapon full out next week and see what I get from the vault. And I'm probably going to see if I can grab, with my 1600 token, maybe the versatility haste chest piece, and just chill with that for now, because it's a pretty significant upgrade in item level. But yeah, some pretty unfortunate news with the set bonus. At the moment, I do not think it's worth running, but it really doesn't matter, right? That 100 DPS is very, very low. If you enjoy the playstyle of the set bonus, you like the animation of the secondary effect, I say go for it, play with the set bonus. The set bonus probably does edge out the full versatility mastery in AoE pressure, but you got to take into account we're not real, like expurgation dot is so extremely weak. It's going to be doing like 4 to 6% of your damage if you're running Blade of Vengeance in like an RBG setting. It's very low and it doesn't really get out pressure. The same goes for the AoE splash portion of Wrathful Sanction. It does not do that much damage. It does like 3 to 4k splash damage. It's very, very, very low. Whereas you could significantly increase your Hammer of Wrath damage with the Versatility Mastery build, and Hammer of Wrath nets kills. Same with Final Verdict. So take with this, like, you know, a grain of salt. Things could change, and I'll be sure to update as soon as we have confirmation on a bug fix, or if the 4 set is even bugged at all. But for the moment, for those of you that are asking my plans with gear, I am holding on to my conquest until next week, and I'm going to buy my weapon unless I get it out of the vault. That is my plan. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I spent a lot of time doing tests on this video, so if you could leave me a thumbs up, I really appreciate it. Comment down below your thoughts, and I will see you all next time. Peace.